Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Cholera, and I am with Moletrap here. I was just gonna say Rise because I've been doing a million commentaries with him, but I am with Moletrap. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and have a good New Year. Moletrap is commentating sick. He's actually wearing a Bisu Shield style face mask right now, so please excuse any any sick sounds coming from him. But he's a trooper, and he will be commentating on this absolutely star-studded lineup here that we have in Lecaf versus SKT1. We got Best in the first game, 4GG in the second game, Bisu in the third game, Jaedong and Fantasy in the fourth game. And I've got to say, I've had more requests for this series than any in recent history. So I'm expecting great things from this matchup.
Excuse me. Yeah, I've also been receiving a lot of requests for this, and Diggity also received some requests for it, although he's in Wisconsin right now, so he wasn't able to join in on it with us. Everyone has been telling us that this set is completely ridiculous, and so we're looking forward to casting this. Going back, actually, sorry that it's not completely current, but it was good enough to go back and cast it, and some people were saying they were already watching it a few times just in Korean,
Yeah.
just going back and watching it. It was that good, so they'd be willing to watch it again commentated. So looking forward to it. So
Wow.
just to give you the colors here real quick, this is Best here, purple Protoss. Purple Protoss in the top left-hand corner, and Hiya is going to be the white Terran. He's in the bottom left-hand corner, and this is, of course, our favorite 3-base space map, Andromeda.
Yeah, this is a map that I think Best is going to do fine on. I really like this map, and Best is just tearing it up. He is ridiculous this season in the Pro League. He is 16-5. Actually, that might be before or after this game. So, but anyway, he is ridiculous. He's basically got a 75% win rate in the Pro League. Only two people who are tied or ahead of him right now are Flash and Lita, with even more ridiculous win rates. But you know, against them is Hiya, who stands a chance. I think Hiya is over 60% against Protoss. It's his best matchup. Best matchup is against Protoss also, but his PVT is nothing at all to scoff at. I've seen him demolish players, strong Terran players left and right, including, but not limited to Flash during when Flash was the best in the world. And this map Andromeda is Protoss favored. You know, I'm not sure the statistics. It's slightly balanced towards Protoss though, and we'll see what you know Hiya has to show for us. I haven't really watched too many games of Hiya. I know that he was responsible for making Firebat Hero cry. That is the one thing that I do know about him. But Best, I know plenty of things about. He loves his Arbiters, and if we get into the late game, man, I expect some solid, crazy Arbiter play here on this map.
Right, and I guess that says a little bit of something about Hayas, that he's most famous for making Firebat Hero cry. And it looks like Best has actually gone for 14 Nexus build. Correct me if I missed a gateway or something. I wasn't paying too much attention.
Nope.
But
That's
it looks like he's gone
fast
straight for
Nexus.
an early Nexus. Yeah, and that's you've actually it's usually kind of gutsy, but on this map it's actually pretty easy to pull off. Well, not easy, but it's easier to pull off because you have that ramp, and so usually to take your expansion you have to go down below a ramp, or you only have to hold the choke point. But on this map you can still hold the ramp, and that's going to make it a lot easier for Best to hold it. Now it is only a mineral only expansion, so he's not going to get a second gas out of it or anything like that, but it is going to give him an economic advantage going into the mid-game, which is what it looks like it's hoping to do. Now, if Hiya is going for some kind of a two-factory build, or some kind of a crazy rush of some kind, well, not crazy rush, but some kind of a rush, then he could still put pressure on Best and break up the ramp theoretically. So we'll have to see how he responds now that Hiya has gotten in here and he has seen exactly what's going on in Best's base.
Yeah, Moletrap, why don't you commentate for a little bit? I think my computer might be having some frazzing, some crazy issues, so go ahead.
Okay, well, hopefully you can, excuse me, get back on sync there. Yeah, so Hiya has just produced a single marine. Now, well, the reason why I was thinking he might go for some kind of a rush is because he's walled in his door, and he's gone out of his way to wall off his ramp, which is not completely unusual. But oftentimes players will do that against Protoss if they're trying to hide something. And sometimes it's just to fake the other guy out to make them think that you're hiding something, so that they will do something in reaction to you hiding something when you're not in fact hiding something. But yeah, point being, I don't know. I was thinking maybe he was going to try and hide a two factory build or something like that, but it looks like he is just going to do a kind of a standard one factory in the command center. He's gotten a vulture out just to try and do some damage, which he might be able to do some damage because the vulture gets on that ramp there, but he's going to be able to spot the vulture with that SCV. And oh, bad micro though.
Oh wow.
On the part of the vulture, not able to take out that zealot, and now those dragoons are going to come in from the two gateways and clear out that. And look,
Yeah.
is that Uvi wearing a Christmas hat or
Bisu.
something right there?
That that is, and there's Bisu looking quite snazzy there in a new suit. Is that what it is? Some like white Power Ranger suit or something? He's now the
It
white
looks
Power
like a new.
Ranger.
It looks like they've all got
He used
first
to be
brand
the
new Power
green
Ranger
Power Ranger.
uniforms.
That's absolutely right. And what is this uniform? Whoa, are they dressed as like I don't know, like I don't know what they would be dressed as. I don't know, something for the holidays perhaps. But yeah, anyway, die Windows Explorer, die. That's what I just did. And that's alright, I don't need Windows Explorer. Who needs that? Fast Expand coming here from Hayafu, and yeah, this is gonna, pretty much turn into a relatively quiet mid game here. Neither player can do too much to one another. We're seeing a robotics facility now down for Best. We'll see if Best notices the fast expand. If he notices the fast expand, it's more likely he will go for reverse. If he doesn't, he might still suspect a fast two-fact push and then be more inclined to go for observers first. But right now neither player can do much. There's Midas with a small little Santa hat, tiny little hat that's pretty goofy looking. And Hiya now continuing on this big macro build here, getting his second expansion command center. And Best actually not expanding just yet. He's going to fall behind actually if he doesn't pick it up. Observatory going up now for Best.
Yeah. Oh, there. No, he is getting another Nexus now. You're right. He wasn't before, but Best now expanding, getting that third base. Pretty safe play in general. Getting the second base and then getting enough goons to try and hold his third base. Expecting that Haya was going to. I mean, Haya basically had to expand at that point because he had that ramp, and Haya wasn't really planning on anything interesting to get up that ramp in the first place, and so he couldn't really divert to that kind of a strategy. So, so Best almost forced Haya to expand, and then he's trying to keep ahead basically because now that Haya's got another base, Best is taking another base, trying to keep ahead economically. Um, and looks like actually Haya though is getting his third base as well. So they're actually going to get their third base at about the same time. And the only thing is that Best does have a better army on the ground, but really, like you said, there's not really anything he can do with siege mode on the ridges. There's nothing really that Best can do to get into that base for the moment, unless he goes for some quick arbiters or something like that. But I don't think we're going to see that right now. It looks like it's going to turn into a longer macro game, and probably see some huge maxed battles in the middle or what have you later on.
Yeah, right now while we have a little bit of a lull, do check out sc2gg.com. We've got a lot of new stuff coming up there, especially a nice organization for our MSL and other tournament VODs, OSL hopefully soon too, where we're going to have a tree showing all the games, and you'll be able to click on the links and get to different commentator stuff. So do keep checking the front page for more updates. Also, of course, the MST right now. The MSL right now is in the Survivor Tournament phase still, and the Batu OSL has already been rocking on the round of 36, as you probably know from watching the VODs on Vile Attack. Yeah, I mean, we're going to eventually do commentaries on probably most of them from the round of 36 or 32 onwards, so look forward to that. Forge going down now for Best. Really just a tame game in the middle here. This does happen on Andromeda quite a lot, and Citadel going down too. Very, very standard play. But I think that if Hiya lets Best get into the late game without doing anything to him, without really putting any pressure, it's going to come down to Best's advantage. Because Best, frankly speaking, is the better player, especially in the late game. He's known for his late game against Terran, and I don't know if Hiya has what it takes to beat him in the long game. So we'll see if he gets aggressive soon.
Yeah, that's a good point. Interesting. Haya getting some com sets now, so he's going to be able to figure out what Best is doing, which is, I guess, just seeing those com sets made me realize that he didn't know anything about what Best was doing at all. he wasn't able to get any vultures in or anything like that. So for all he knew, Best was going for some sort of crazy DT rush or Arbiter rush or anything like that. Although I guess he may have known that the third expansion was going up, uh, and predicted that Best was macroing up. We hear some comset going off, so he is checking to see what Best is doing right now. But it's nothing completely unexpected. I guess it's a little bit interesting that he hasn't really gone for Reavers. Usually a quick Reaver harass is kind of the norm that you see in PvT. He hasn't done that. Looks like he's teching towards Templar right now. But yeah, both players just really just preparing for that mid-late game. Macroing up, getting, we see Hiya getting his factories up now. We saw Best getting a bunch of gateways up and a Citadel a little bit ago. Um, and there's some more gateways even. So this is just going to turn into a huge, huge macro fest. And there we go. He's going for the Arbiters. Got the Templar Archives up already. The Arbiter Tribunal
That's right.
warping in right now. So we are going to see some late game Arbiters. And if Best is, I'm sorry, if Hiya has spotted this, I wouldn't be surprised if we see him responding with, well, Goliath. And hopefully some science vessels if he's smart.
Yeah. This is a late game for Best. He's very well known for it, and he's very, very well known for those crazy double or triple recalls that just devastate the Terran opponent. Really, they leave the Terran with two choices: either try to save their main and fall behind, or try to go all in and kill Best off. And Best can survive on very little when that happens. But yeah, I mean, this is a very important match for both Pro League teams, by the way, just to give you the significance. This was played a week ago from now on December 23rd, yeah, 2008. SKT1 has not been doing as well as everyone predicted it would this season. It is, I believe, around. I'll go find the statistics later, actually. I'm going to go look for them right now. But I know this is an absolute pivotal matchup because in the Pro League, they're expanding the playoff slots from 4 to 6. So the top 6 players will get to play playoffs, but everyone else is, out of luck. So, important matchup for these two guys, two teams, and we're going to see a lot of vultures here pretty soon.
Yeah, SKT1 is not doing very well at all this Pro League season, and it's really surprising considering the fact that they have some of the heaviest hitters, in the
Right.
game on their team. They've got Best and they've got Bisu, so it's kind of strange that they haven't been doing better in the team leagues, and so that is kind of interesting. Lecaf is up there in the Pro League standings though, so they're
Yeah,
fighting
they're
for those
number
top
2, I
spots.
think.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's important. Every game's important for them as well because if they lose a couple games, they're gonna get passed up by the likes of Samsung or whoever. I haven't looked at those standings too recently.
Samsung's
It
number
looks
1.
like Haya's trying to push out here though, and oh my gosh, there's a lot of zealots. I don't think he has enough vultures to compensate for that many zealots. A ton of the
Oh,
frontline
wow.
tanks are getting owned. A ton of dragoons in the back as well. It looks like he might hold this off. Some reinforcements coming in are gonna barely hold this off, but that, man, and that is exactly what Best needs to do too. You run in as soon as your zealots are destroyed, fall back, save those dragoons, macro up the zealots again, and that way your army is strong for another attack. Because it's too often I see the Protoss players will go in and then just throw their dragoons away and waste their dragoons on tanks, and then they don't have anything to defend against. But it looks like Hiya is continuing to try and push here. He's going to depend on his reinforcements and just try and push out with these tanks and save what tanks he has and push in with more vultures and Goliaths.
Yeah, I think it's a smart move here. He knows he needs to come out. He probably knows that Best is on at least 1 or 2 additional expansions in addition to his main 3 bases. And, he is indeed on 2 more expansions at the island and the upper right. So he knows he needs to get that push on before the Arbiters really get that much energy. And here he goes. Best once again doing the stomp here. The face stomp on the Terran. I like to call it the stomp move when the Terran tries to move out and the Protoss just catches them mid-stride before they have a chance to lay mines. And wow, once again, Best showing just great, great timing, able to destroy almost all the units. In fact, this time he's going to commit, I think, and just finish off the few remaining tanks that are left for Hiya, and I don't see how Hiya can come back from this. It doesn't matter if Best decides to just camp here or decides to move in. Yeah, he probably will just camp here for a while because it's hard to assault the main Andromeda, but, it doesn't matter. He is so out of this game. He has literally 2 tanks to his name right now. 1-1 upgrades for those tanks. Really, Pest is in a great situation right now. And this is what I meant. I think Hiya needed to do something before it got to this stage. And Best just, his late game prowess just kind of takes over.
We see some probes marching to their deaths here, by the way. Um,
True. Yeah.
but you're right. This game is basically oh nice, the arbiter protecting the protecting the probes, but well I guess the army also protecting the probes, but yeah at this point basically Hiya does not have the forces to move out anymore. He lost his entire army, except for these random vultures running around, and so he's not gonna be able to move out until he macros up another dozen tanks. So basically, in the meantime, Best has complete and utter map control. He can just camp outside and just take the rest of the map, and that's what he's doing. He's got another couple expansions in the top right. He's got the island at 12. Well, he's had the island at 12 for a little while now, and basically Hiya is limited to vulture harassment right now, and we have actually seen Terran players come back from this kind of a situation just by sheer tenacity of vulture harassment while they macro their tanks. But that said, I don't think it's going to happen against Best.
No, I don't think so either. Really no advantage at all for Haya. No upgrade advantage to speak of. He's got 1-1. I'm sure Best is around there also. No tech advantage. Best has his arbiters. Yeah, +2 for Best. That's absolutely fine against 1-1. And yeah, pretty open and shut case here. Let's look forward to the next couple of sets. I know they were supposed to be very good. 4GG versus Hyuk is in the next game, so I'll be expecting a Lecaf win in that game. Because Hyuk is infamously bad. He is the second worst player in the Pro League this season. I'm not kidding. He's above Frozian, who is the worst. But in the third game we
Wow.
got Young versus Bisu, and fourth we got Jaedong versus Fantasy. So this is really star-studded lineup. Looks like we're gonna see one more push here coming from Hiya, and if this fails, I don't see how he can stay in this game. He's got a combined force of glides, vultures, and tanks, but the not enough tanks basically is the name of the game here,
Look at
and we're gonna
he has
see
it.
some
Oh,
arbiter spell
mines
use.
going on.
Yeah, wow,
Oh, mass
incredible mines.
stasis. Wow. Look at that stuff.
Oh, that's just
That is
silly.
just amazing. Unfortunately, Best has blocked his own way into get. No, he hasn't. The Zealots are able to get through a small gap in those stasis fields and get in amongst everything. The Dragoons are going to be stopped though, so he's not going to be able to finish this off right now. But I think this is just Best is just messing with Hiya at this point. Um,
Right. Yeah, this is just silly. Don't know why High is staying in this. Wants to prolong the misery a little bit, but I guess you really shouldn't quit until you've actually, lost some buildings, and you're not just starving for resources. I guess it's a little too early to quit, but pretty much he's at 99% chance of losing here. And no, Best is just shown once again that he is very very good at PvT, especially against players who aren't top tier, who don't have anything to do, creatively or just being, dominant in their play. He just defeats them very, very thoroughly. And now we're seeing another attempt to move out here from Haya. He seriously has not gotten to the middle of the map yet. I don't expect him to be able to get very far with this push. Best is just so good at positioning his units. I mean, that is a huge part of PvT. It's not just about knowing where your A key is, although that is very important. If you don't have an A key, you cannot play Protoss versus Terran. But it is also about knowing where to put your units before you use that A key. So yeah, we're gonna see Haya probably get stopped here the next time he moves out.
oh, definitely. I'd be curious to see if I ever have any spare time, which is unlikely, but I'd like to do some research on like how often people do early GGs in team leagues compared to individual leagues. Because when their team is on the line,
Oh, that's
and here we
interesting.
go, actually, here's the stomp move right now. Dragoon's going in first to take the first hit. Stasis on the front, a little bit bad, but I think Best just has way too many units here. Haya is just
Yep.
going to get completely overrun. He may actually somehow hold this off. Looks like he's going to hold off. Not as many zealots as that other attack there. But again, Haya's just going to get held back. He's not going to be able to secure any more expansions really because Best is just going off so many bases right now. He should be able to macro up and destroy Haya's army on the next try. And look, he's pushing out with. He's got a lot of support troops, but he's only got like 6 tanks, and that's just not going to be
Right.
enough, I don't think.
Yeah, absolutely not. That is a good point. I do wonder how much people, are willing to GG early, quote unquote, early in team leagues. Maybe it's slightly less likely than in individual ones, but looks like Best going in to snipe off a few more units and then back off, dancing there quite nicely. 2-2 upgrades for Hiya, so at least he's following that part of the build, but it's just not going to be, it's just really not going to work at this point. I don't think that's an expansion at the lower right. I might be wrong. It actually could be an expansion. So Hiya actually does have some expansions up. He has one going up on the left and one at the lower right. Best going in for another charge. Once again, great concave by the Dragoons. Stasis, no stasis. Arbiter going down there, so that's actually not bad from Hiya. He's actually managing to push into the middle again, and maybe, just maybe, he'll be able to come back. That would be really surprising and quite wild. But certainly he's gotten himself more than a 1% chance of winning through sheer tenacity, I guess, alone. So not bad.
Yeah, and I think the critical point here is actually that he does have an expansion on the bottom right, but Best is taking it out with a small force right now, and Haya can't
Yeah.
really divert anything to save that. And that I think is going to clinch it. I think actually that the way this is going, Haya has definitely surprised. Look at all these speed zealots though.
Yeah.
Now, Best doesn't
Hello.
have a lot of support troops in front now, so these zealots are going to own up these tanks, but he's not sieging up the tanks, so he might stand a chance. Oh no, he's getting sandwiched from both sides. Zealots coming from one side, a huge force coming from the other side as well. Haya realizes it, desperately laying mines, trying to fall back with his tanks right here, but he has no support units at all left, and he is going to get pushed back this time. It looked for a moment, Haya must have seen Best space within the horizon and been hopeful for just that moment before the forces came in from both sides, mines blowing the crap out of tanks,
Oh
and
my God.
wow, that was a valiant push by Haya, but I think that was Haya's last push. It looks like these last few tanks are going to go down with the next attack of Best's, and Best just has too many expansions going all over the map, and it looks like Haya has lost his bottom right expansion as well. So um, he's only got basically his natural and this 9 o'clock base mining right now, and I don't think that's quite enough.
Yeah, that really won't be enough here. He's got three tanks here, pathetic little force here. Not much he can do, but I give him props for trying. The guy who made Firebird Hero cry, and by the way, for
Yeah.
those of you who will inevitably ask that where that's from the Pro League Finals last year. Check out Rise's account for that game. But there's basically not much you can do. Next game we're gonna watch Hyuk, so that might be funny at least. But I'm basically waiting for the later games in the series. I heard they were very, very, very good, and hope you guys don't mind watching this a week later. It is still, I think, going to be a great series. Here comes Best going in for the kill here now on the tanks, and he's going to be successful, I think. He's also got stasis on those couple of tanks. Not really going to matter too much because this whole force is going to go down. Good try by Hiya though, staying in close to the end here and giving it his all. Pretty much he's out of it though. Yeah, with that I think it's time to GG for Hiya. Just played pretty much outplayed. The map also definitely favors Protoss, I think, and he just couldn't get it done.
Yeah, yeah, a valiant effort, but he's been screwed for a while now. But yeah, like I said, I think that they, like you were saying, I think they probably people feel less inclined to GG when they're not completely out of it when it is team, because then you've got the pressure of your team on you, and it's like, oh well, I got to give my
Right.
all for my team. It's okay if I quit for my own benefit, but you've got teammates that are depending on you, and so you want to put in every effort you possibly can. Although there are players like the valiant Nada who will never GG until he has
Yeah.
absolutely no money and no income. He will not give
And then
up.
there's players like, Frozian who will lose every game they play, and then try to hog this spotlight when their best teammate Stork wins the game, and then they'll spray champagne into his eyes. The first thing he does is spray champagne into the OSL winner's eyes, so he is crying for the rest of the evening. Good job, Frozian, Mr. Worst Player in Pro League right now. Anyway.
and then there's and then there's players like Yarnak who will GG like their attack fails and they're like, well, okay, that's fine, GG. Or
Yeah,
Sweaty
yeah,
Hand
he
C
GG's
does
for.
that too, where he'll GG regularly.
GG. Coming from
There's
Hiya.
the GG.
Yeah, yeah, and we'll talk about Backhoe's premature GGs in the next game if we have some time, because there's a whole story for that. I'm not sure if you heard about that, Moletrap, but oh man, they're definitely dressed for the holidays. I don't know if Lecaf is, but Best is Best wins this game, and we're gonna move on now. GG's.